Before we start this video, airplane mode, because this thing is hella distracting. Hi everyone, welcome to the new office, the first official setup in the new office where we're shooting this type of video. Now, before we jump into talking about camera gear and camera bags and all the fun stuff that's in my camera bag that I bring with me, there's one question that's on everybody's mind right now. Where the hell is the Sony a7S III? I feel like they've been like dangling this thing in front of us for the last 2 years. I feel like every 2 weeks they're like, new camera, and everyone's like, woo, but Sony a7S III, can we get that one again? They're like, it's coming. I think it's been about 2 years now. And even right now on Sony Alpha Rumors, they're saying there's another camera coming out that I'm like, just give us the Sony a7S III, please. Comment if you agree. Now, let's chat about what's in my camera bag. In today's video, I'm gonna be covering all the different items that I carry with me on the average shoot. Now, obviously, your bag will change from shoot to shoot. You'll carry different lenses for each type of job. And this kit that I'm about to show you is my standard kit that I bring with me on commercial shoots, my YouTube videos, as well as while I am traveling. So let's jump into item number one. That item is the camera bag itself. You can see I've used this camera bag quite a bit. It's in some pretty raggedy condition right now, but if we just open it up, boom, there's everything inside. That's a lot of stuff. That bag is the Lowepro Pro Tactic 450 AW. That's the latest edition that they have with it, so it's built a little bit better. Probably my only beef with this bag is the fact that when I put it upright, it literally just falls over. That's because I think the rain cover that they put underneath gets too bunched up, and then when you put it upright, it's just like, okay, see you later, I'm gonna go this way instead. Some of the bonuses of this bag is that Lowepro has an amazing warranty, so if you rip some stitching, I think they actually fix your bag for free, so that's a great bonus. It's really deep, so it can fit a lot of stuff, including laptops, multiple lenses, drones. Like, I can put a lot of stuff on this. My back doesn't like that I can put a lot of stuff in this, but it carries a lot of stuff, so this is my recommendation for the camera bag. All right, and my camera of choice is the Sony a7S III. Imagine I just dropped that news on you and I actually had it in the video, even though I about it at the beginning of the video. The camera that I'm actually using is the Sony a7R III. Now I know there is the Sony a7R IV that is out right now. I compared the two models and I actually thought it was a better investment to get the Sony a7 III and wait until there's another camera that comes out that is a worthwhile investment. I've invested a lot into E-mount glass, so I'm just waiting for Sony to drop an amazing camera right now. Other than that, I used to use the Sony a9, which was a really great camera, but that was designed more for sports photography. The Sony a7R III is really good if you're like a landscape photographer, you're into commercial work. It has really high megapixels, enough of a frame rate, and it shoots really high quality videos, so this is kind of like my go-to camera right now. There's two sayings in videography. People listen with their eyes and watch with their ears. I don't know what that means, it sounds wrong, but I like to use the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus for good quality audio when I'm vlogging. This thing's great because once you plug it in and turn on your camera, it automatically turns on for you, so you're removing the step of pressing the button to turn it on. This thing will save you. All right, let's talk about lenses. Now I have 3 lenses that I generally carry with me. Now it's kind of like an odd bunch. You probably wouldn't have guessed that these are my 3 picks, but the ones that I bring with me are the 16 to 35 millimeter f2.8 G Master lens. This is my go-to for most shots because it's really good for vlogging for the 16 mil, also really good for shooting photos and landscapes and portraits and Instagram photos. So like 16 to 35, highly recommend. Great lens. The other lens that I bring with me seems like a bit of an odd choice. The 100 to 400, I think f4.5 to 5.6. This lens is really great and also super underrated. When we're traveling, I really like to get compression in the landscapes. So for me to have that large of a focal range from 100 to 400 is huge. I don't really need a huge shallow depth of field because once you start getting into the 100 millimeter or 400 millimeter, you can really get some great compressions. You can shoot a variety of different genres with this lens. So I love the 100 to 400. And next, I almost always carry a prime with me. Sometimes it varies between a 50 mil and an 85 mil, but today we're talking about the 85 millimeter f1.4 G Master lens. This thing just looks, that's like a weird Italian like pizza thing, like, oh yeah, boo, but 85 mil, way more expensive than a pizza. It's a really great lens. I love it a lot. The optics in this thing are absolutely incredible. Again, my only beef, it's a little slow sometimes for focusing, but when you nail it, whoo, the pizza sound. All right, let's talk about filters. I carry 3 with me. Those are the Peter McKinnon variable ND filters, the 2 to 5 stop, and the 6 to 9 stop. If I had to make a recommendation on a variable ND to take with you, that would be the 2 to 5 stop. That's like the one I use almost all the time, unless it's like super, super bright outside, then I pull out the 6 to 9 stop. Those are both 82 millimeter thread. And the other filter that I carry with me is a CP filter, which stands for circular polarizing filter. This is really great if I'm shooting photos and there seems to be like a glare on the water, or I want to get some richer color out of the skies. Those are my 3 recommendations. I also carry one more thing with me. That is a step up ring. So I have from like 82 millimeters down to 77, as well as I sometimes carry 82 to 72, depending on the lens that I'm carrying with me. The 100 to 400 millimeter is a slightly smaller thread size that allows me to put those 82 millimeter threads on that lens. Up next is a drone I carry with me, the DJI Mavic 2 Hasselblad drone. This thing is freaking amazing. I used to have the original DJI Mavic drone, really great, but the picture quality was not that great. Since the upgrade, this is like go-to for both video and photos. Plus, I just love flying drones. Like every time we're traveling, that's all I want to do is just fly drones all the freaking time. So this has a lot of hours on it. I got a lot of use out of it. And I usually use this drone to get a lot of stock footage, which I'll talk about in a future video. Highly, highly recommend this, even though it's a bit out of its weight class in terms of drone regulations, but it's worth the extra push for that and getting your license. Since I enjoy shooting with my drone so much, I always make sure I have a filter on it to match the setting that I'm shooting. I use the Polar Pro drone filters, so I have an ND set, which goes ND4, ND8, and ND16, depending on how much light I want and the movement that I want in my shot. I also carry with me polarizing ND filters as well. That way I can cut the glare when I'm shooting photos. So this is a nice variety to carry with me. It's super compact and just slides in. Highly recommend it if you're taking drone photography and videography seriously. Right here, I have an SD card pouch and a battery pack. These were from the Nomadic Peter McKinnon collection. I really just love this kit. They're really beautiful. They look super sleek and they actually serve a very good functional purpose. So for the SD cards, it carries a whole variety of different SD cards, whether it's CF cards, SD cards, micro SD cards. You basically have a spot for any type of SD card, which is really great. Plus it uses magnets to snap together, which is really nice. And it's like a comfortable profile. On top of that, I've got this little battery pouch, which is really nice. It carries 3 batteries. Even though the Sony batteries are really great, it's always good to make sure that you have extra batteries with you. So I carry 3 with me and I just love the design of this. So these are my 2 pouches that I recommend. In every camera bag, you should carry an extra little light with you to save you in a pinch. The one that I've been using lately is the LumeCube light panel. Now LumeCube sent this to me a few months ago to just try out and see what I thought about it. I really like this light. It's a super slim profile. It comes with a little diffusion right in the front. It's also bicolor, so you can pick a color temperature to match the setting that you're shooting in. It also has a battery indicator to tell you how much time is left on the unit in terms of power, which I think is so beneficial when you're shooting. The only beef I probably have with this is that the button protrudes a little bit out the side of it. So when you slide it into your camera case and everything's really jam-packed inside, the camera top might actually turn the light on. This has only happened once or twice. It's not really that big of a deal, but it's funny. I've opened my bag before and it's like glowing in the inside. It's like, ah. And then I just realized I've wasted a lot of battery. I almost always bring a laptop with me, whether I need to do edits on the fly, do some data management, or I am traveling. It's good to carry a laptop with you. I use a 2016 MacBook Pro. I want to upgrade to the latest edition, but you know, funds and money. That's all the thing. Most recently, I've been carrying around an Amazon Kindle with me. Last year, my screen time was anywhere between like 2 to 4 hours a day, which is like embarrassingly high. So what I've been trying to do, rather than screen time on my phone and social media, I've been shifting that towards books. I've just been trying to be a bit more productive with my time. Plus the Kindle takes up like almost no space in a camera bag. And if you're working on set, there's a lot of this like hurry up and wait culture because you have to set up lights and you have to set up blankets. It's better spent reading a book than, that's nice. All right, in the back part of my camera bag, I have a little think tank pouch. Now, inside this think tank pouch, I have all the things that I need for my computer and when I'm editing. On this side of the pouch, I have my MacBook power cord. On the opposite side, I have 2 hard drives. I almost always carry an SSD with me. If you don't know much about SSDs, you can link up to this video here, which will give you a bit more of a background into them. Ultimately, an SSD is a faster and safer type of hard drive. Highly recommend that you start using them if you're not. I also carry a backup with me as well. That's just a normal hard drive disk. I use the LaCie drive just in case I'm traveling. There's extra protection with that little orange rubber around the outside of it. In the back port, I always carry a display port with me. You never know when you're traveling and there's a TV and you might just want to watch some Netflix on that TV in your hotel room. Also, I've been in like the weird pinch where I needed to do a presentation to try to make a sale. So always carry a display port with you just in case. And over here in the back part, we have the little think tank ties. These are great for just like holding cables together. One of my favorite things that's in my camera bag is this universal adapter with 4 USB ports. So even if I'm in my home country, I can charge up to 4 devices at any given time. What I also do is I put a little 3-pronged plug on top of that universal adapter. Now we got 3 plugs and 4 USBs by plugging one single thing into the wall. That's amazing. I would highly recommend that you always carry an action camera in your bag. It's something that's just really great for a variety of different shots, especially if you're doing commercial work and or anything on YouTube. I carry with me the DJI Osmo Action and the Insta360 This is a great way to just get some really unique angles and shots that will not only make your clients happy, but probably save you in a pinch. So we just talked about action cameras there for a second. I have a whole variety of mounts, but probably my most used and favorite one is this one from Goldpole, which is a mouth mount. It's a little cushion. You can just slide it in and now you can get point of view shots, which is generally my most used shot when I'm using an action camera. This next item I don't bring with me all the time, but I do want to make note of it. This is a little kit that I found on Amazon for like $30 Canadian, which I think is like $2 American. It's really, really cheap, but every single mount that you could need for an action camera is in this kit. So if you have an action camera of any kind, would highly recommend this because what people really like is the variety of shots that you have, not the camera that you're using. And this is the best way to just get like 100 different shots for like less than $30. Links are below for that. We talked a lot about different ways to charge your gear. I always make sure I have 1 of every cable and like 2 of the cables that I use the most. Now, some people like to put these into pouches. I just like to have them out in the open, but I make sure that I have a tie on every single one. Then I use one of those think tank red ties and I bunch them all together. This is just like a really accessible way that's quick and easy, and it keeps everything nice and together. A must have in every camera bag is obviously a camera strap. The one that I've been using recently is the Peak Design camera strap. This is a really nice thin profile and it clips on with those little red anchors, which is really great and doesn't take up too much space in my camera bag. Up next is the Rode Smart Lav Plus. This thing plugs into your phone and actually becomes a nice lavalier microphone. This thing has saved me so many times because clients will be like, can we do an interview right now? And I'll be like, yeah, we're totally set up for that. We're not. But because we had the Rode Smart Lav Plus, this sounds like an advertisement. I don't know why. I just really like this product and it's really great. And I keep it in my bag because it saved my ass a bunch of times. Now this next device is actually super cool. If you're into time-lapse photography or videography, check this out. This is the Syrup Genie Mini. This allows you to get a pan movement during your time-lapse photography. It's super cool. I don't use it all the time, but when I'm traveling, I generally throw it in my camera bag. On the side of my camera bag, I like to carry a tripod with me. This is the Peak Design tripod. Actually, it's Lizzie's Peak Design tripod because I don't even have one yet, but I always steal hers. This thing was just designed like no other tripod. It's really great. It's got a really beautiful head to it. It takes an Arca Swiss plate, which is really nice because that's a universal mount. It's also very slim profile, doesn't take up too much space and or weight. So yeah, that's my go-to tripod when traveling. The next tripod that I bring with me because I am a YouTube vlogger and I need some variety in my shots is the Joby 3K Pro. This thing can support up to 6 pounds. It's killer, it's a workhorse. You can hang it from different things. It bends in all sorts of formations. It's more flexible than a gymnast, so just check it out. All right, up next, we're gonna talk about some accessories, some of the smaller things that are actually in my camera bag. The first thing is an air blower to get some of the dust off of the lens and your sensor. Up next is the Apple AirPods Pro. These are the new ones with the active noise cancellation. These are great if you're on a plane and you wanna get rid of that droning that's in the background. Highly recommend. I like to keep a pen, pencil, and a permanent marker in my bag, depending on the situation. You never know when you need something to write with. Generally, as a photographer, you're gonna be out in the conditions, especially in Canada. It is very dry out, so I always keep some lip chap on me. Up next is probably one of my favorite things and most underrated items is this little small rig multi-tool. The reason why I love it is because it actually has a flat edge so that you can tighten things on your tripod. I feel like we always just carry coins in our pockets to save the day. This thing, get this thing, that's gonna save the day. I always love to carry with me the 14mm moment lens. It just clips right onto the front part of my phone. It's a great way if you're into like phone photography, but I like to shoot like behind the scenes photos for my Instagram stories, and this is a great way to get like the wide perspective in really good quality. It's important to keep your gear well maintained, so I would make sure that you get some lens cleaning solution, some sensor swabs and sensor solution, and some microfiber cloth so that you can clean all your equipment so that it's always working and looks good. Fun fact about me, one thing that I cannot stand, like it actually drives me crazy, is when a cable does not have a cable tie on it or like a little Velcro tie on it. They're so cheap. You can go on Amazon, get like 100 for like $12. Now all your cables are nicely organized rather than looking like a giant mess. Nobody wants that. So for $10, so that you don't drive me crazy, get some Velcro ties. Before shooting this video, I was drinking coffee and I was so worried that I was gonna be drinking it and then it'd get all over this white shirt. So keep Tide to Go in your bag. You never know if you're on a shoot, especially if you're shooting talent and they like to do something crazy like, hey, today we're playing with mustard. And you're like, don't play with mustard with the white shirt. Keep Tide to Go in your bag, it might save the day. On the side of the Low Pro bag, there's a little pocket where I store my action camera, but underneath that, I like to keep some business cards. Anytime you're out and about and you're shooting with a camera, usually someone comes up to you and they're like, hey, that's a fancy camera that you have there. Do you do this professionally? And then you say, yeah. And then they're like, do you have a business card? And you're like, yeah. So then you pull it out and they're like, this is so cool and professional. I'm going to contact you about my business. And then you go, okay. And then now you made money. So so I keep my business cards on the side of my bag. If you've ever watched Peter McKinnon's Dope Squad vlog, I'll link it up here. In that video, it was revealed that I like to keep games in my bags, whether it's Pass the Pigs or Toss the Pigs. I also like to keep this other game called Toss Up. This thing lives in my bag because a lot of the times you're killing time in between shoots or you just want to stay entertained. This is a fun way to build relationships with clients and or kill time. This game is my favorite. Essentially how it works is you just toss all the dice and then you move the green ones over. And then if you get yellow, you can go again. And in this situation, when we were filming this example, I kept getting yellow. And then when it went to red, I lost. That was the worst game ever, and it was caught on camera for all of you to see. One of my other little fun gadgets that I keep in the pouch of my Low Pro bag is this filter remover. They look kind of strange, but a lot of the times if you're putting a filter on and let's say you're shooting in like a warm condition or a hot condition, sometimes those filters are really, really hard to get off and you're like sitting there, you're like, come on, let's do it. You don't need to do that. Just grab these like little $6 filter removers. It just wraps around it. Use the strength, pop it off. They're not built the best. I've broken a few of them, but it's also gotten my filters off, so I like to keep one or two in my bag. I like to post a lot of photos of my camera on my Instagram page, and a lot of the times people are always like, what are these fun little red things on the side of your camera that look like ears? I mentioned this earlier in the video. These are the Peak Design anchors, so when you have your camera straps, you can actually just plug it right on. So let's say you have multiple camera straps, you can swap between all of them very easily. I generally like to keep a bit of cash in my bag. I know that we live in a digital age and we can just use credit cards for everything. You never know when cash is gonna save you. Up next is just a lens cleaning cloth. I mean, just keep one in your bag. That's a no-brainer. And my last item is a reusable coffee mug and or water bottle. I've gone through a lot of different ones, mainly because when you have coffee, for whatever reason they spill. This is the first one I've ever found that doesn't actually spill. This is like Frank Green in military green to match my phone. Plus you actually save money when you go to coffee shops and you're helping the planet. So that's all the stuff that's in my camera bag. If you guys have made it to this point in the video, here's something for you. An ASMR clap. That's your prize. Was that too long to listen to? Was that really a gift or was it just super awkward? Anyways, guys, as you would imagine, I've included all the Amazon affiliate links to the products that we've talked about below. If you guys pick anything up, I would greatly appreciate if you use the links. Also, if you buy anything on the page that you just need for your house, I get a little bit of kickback. So let's say you buy some toilet paper. I would get 3 cents. And then I would use said 3 cents and add that to my toilet paper fund. And then we're all helping each other get toilet paper. On top of that, I am also hosting a 50% off sale on all my presets and items that are in my store. So I've got budget templates there, pitch documents if you guys want to land some more jobs, as well as all the Lightroom presets and music. So your support is greatly appreciated there. And on that note, this is the end of the video. You guys made it. One more time for the ASMR clap. If you enjoyed this video, please press like. I always like to be really awkward with pressing the like button. Go down there and be awkward and press the like button. And if you're not awkward, still press the like button. Subscribe and hit the bell to be notified for future videos. And just on that note, guys, thanks so much. I hope everyone's having a good time going out there and shooting and making some great shit. Love you all. Bye. All right, so for all these lenses, we need to put some protective glass in front of it, including some sunglasses. Here, like imagine these are my lenses, and now we're gonna do this. But these would be tinted. That's so stupid. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's also nice. I don't like that photo. Where's the dislike button? There's a little pouch on the side of the low pro. Say low pro 10 times fast. Low pro, 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 low pro. On the side of the low pro bag is a little container? Slot? What's the word? Pouch. The word is pouch. Pocket. The word is also pocket. Okay. There's a saying in videography that people listen with their ears and watch with their eyes. No, that's exactly what they do. Oh my God.